Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Tim Tokwe. In today's tutorial, I'll be cutting and sewing this off-shoulder sleeve. You can see it's a puffy sleeve and it has elastic on the upper part and the lower part. So to sew this, I use this single piece of fabric. The length is 23 by 23 inches. I do not have enough fabric, so I have to join it together so that I can have enough to make the sleeve. So I'm going to be folding it like this, just like a triangle. You can see that it's just two pieces, so it's a single piece that I folded that way. And so I'm going to be finding a way to mark a straight line on this triangle across it. And you remember when we were cutting the off shoulder sleeve, we make the off shoulder come down, that is off by 4 inches, or we make the off shoulder lower by 4 inches. So that 4 inches is going to be serving as the wideness of the sleeve on the upper part. And the sleeve is folded into two, so when it's spread out, that's like 8 inches. So here, because I want the sleeve to have elastic, so I'm not going to make it 4 inches. This is also on fold, so I'm going to make it 7 inches, and this is what I'm marking here. And so after this 7 inches, I'm going to be using the remaining space to mark the depth of my armhole. So I have 4 inches left there. And so I'll bring this blouse now. So this is the armhole area of the off shoulder blouse, and this, my measuring it, I have 6 inches here. So I have to find a way to make the sleeve, also the armhole, to be around 6 inches or more, so that I can have allowance to join it. And so I come down by 4 inches there, and so I'm going to be marking from this 7 inches point to join that 4 inches that I come down by. So now I'm going to be marking. I already made that curve with my curve rule. So measuring this now, I have about 6 inches. And so that will not be enough for the armhole, because I needed an allowance. So what I'm going to do is to come down more. I'm going to make my straight down come down. So I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch from the previous one. And so this will kind of extend my line. And so here, instead of 7 inches, I have 8 inches now. So I'm still going to mark the 7 inches mark, and then I'm going to be coming down by 4 inches now again, so that the line can extend. So to do that, I'm going to extend the straight line. So now I'm going to be marking 4 inches. So now I'm going to be connecting that 7 inches point to my 4 inches there with my curve, just like I did earlier. And so this will serve as the armhole for the off shoulder. You can see that it's not too curvy, it's just a little bit slant. And so now I'm going to measure what I have for the armhole. So now I have 7 inches there, so that will be enough for the armhole and allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the straight part. So now what we'll be doing is to measure the length of the sleeve. So here I'll be using 10.5 inches. So now I'm going to be marking 10.5 inches across this straight line. And on this side here, I'm going to be marking it closely, because you can see that's where we have most part of the sleeve. So I'm going to place it there and make sure that I mark the 10.5 all around, so that I can get an accurate measurement of that curvy part. And so I'm just going to cover my chalk, and here, because it's a straight line, I'm going to use my ruler to mark it. And so I'm going to go ahead to cut it out. So this is my sleeve. I'm going to be cutting the second part now, and also the lining. And so for the second part, I fold this piece of fabric into two. You can see it's on fold, and this sleeve is also on fold. So I'm placing the unfold part on the unfold part, as you can see. So now I'm going to place it like this, and I'm also going to be pinning it around so that it does not move, and then I'll be cutting it out. So now I'm also gonna cut the lining too. So I'm going to be placing the lining on the straight part now, and I'm going to be stitching it, and I'm also be stitching the lower part too. So I might just go ahead to pin it down so that it does not move. So I'm going to be stitching it, the upper part. You can see this is how it's going to look. I'm going to be stitching it, and also the lower part I'll also be stitching it too. So now I've gone ahead to stitch both the lower part and the upper part. So for the upper part, I'm going to be notching it so that it can relax. And after notch, I'm going to turn it over, like fold it out. So you can see I've turned it out, and you can go ahead to press it with your iron so that it can lay flat. And I'm going to be placing my taper at 1/2 inch mark, and I'll be top stitching on it because there's going to be an elastic that will go through that line there. So that space, I'm also going to be doing the same thing to the lower part. I'm going to put in my taper at 1/2 inch mark, and I'm going to be top stitching by 1/2 inch. An elastic is going to pass through that too. So I already did that. I've top stitched by 1/2 inch, the upper part and the lower part. So now I'm going to be fixing my elastic in the sleeve. So this upper part, remember that I said that we use 4 inches for the wideness of the upper part for the sleeve, because we came down by 4 inches from for the off shoulder. So now when we now spread it together out, that is the front part and the back part 4 times, so that will be 8 inches. So instead of making the elastic 8 inches, I made it 7 inches. Now I'm passing it through with a safety pin. So now after passing it through to this point, I'm going to stitch this part, and then I'm going to make sure that it comes out from here, and I'm also going to stitch it before cutting out this safety pin. So here, and I already did that. You can see the elastic is already gathered, so it's remaining the lower part. So for the lower part, I'm going to be using my round sleeve measurement, and that is 11 inches, and so I'm going to be subtracting 1 inch from it, so I'm making it 10 inches. So I already passed it with the elastic with safety pin too, and so you can see. So what I'm going to do now is to find a way to close that side that is open up, and so I'm going to find a way to turn it this way to the other side and then sew it. So you can see I've done that on both sides, and I've also top stitched this sleeve too. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing this part into the armhole. That's the armhole area. So you can see that place is not sewn in. So now I'm going to be folding it into 2 like this. And remember that we measured the armhole at 6 inches. So I'm going to measure the 6 inches here. And so what I have left will be what I'll be using to stitch it. So I have 1/2 inches left, so I'm going to be stitching it by 1/2 inch. So now I've done that, I'll be opening the armhole like this of the blouse, and then placing the joined part to face the joined part of the blouse like this, and then I'll be sewing this all around. So you can see this is the result of the sleeves. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and also give your comments.